Hello, dear voters. 3 children died in our national capital, just about 11 kilometers away from our parliament, just about 11 kilometers away from where the key ministries function. 3 malnourished children, one of them just 3 years old, did not get to eat anything for about 8 to 9 days, and they died. Their father has been missing for a few days, perhaps being unable to get them any food, unable to feed them, unable to earn any money. He gave up and abandoned them. Perhaps, we don't know. Their mother was found in a state that indicates that she herself needs to be taken care of and was in no position to take care of these children. That's the sad story coming in from our national capital. Yet, what did our netas do? No, they didn't come up with anything concrete to address the problem at the core of this incident. They played petty politics. You know what the Aam Aadmi Party did? The Aam Aadmi Party's Deputy Chief Minister visited and used this opportunity to slam the Women and Child Development Ministry and their Integrated Children Development Scheme, to slam the Lieutenant Governor's office, of course, for not allowing their home delivery of ration, that scheme, to go through. You know what the Congress Party did? The Congress Party questioned why the bodies of these 3 children went from one hospital to the other, and then claimed that this was perhaps done to get a specific kind of post-mortem outcome, thereby alleging that there was some kind of political conspiracy behind this. You know what the BJP did? The BJP used this opportunity to slam the Aam Aadmi Party government and remind them of their political promises and ask them what happened and how they failed here. Nobody had anything concrete and positive to tell us. So tonight, we decided to bring them all onto this show and to ask them, what would you have done had you got the opportunity to save these children? That's the big debate tonight.
Heart-wrenching and shocking. 3 little children, 8-year-old Mansi, 5-year-old Paro and 2-year-old Sukho, died of hunger in our national capital. There was no one to feed them or take care of them.
The neighbors claimed that they could hear the children crying for 2 consecutive nights, but they had no idea that this household did not have even a single grain of food and did not have a single drop of water.
जैसे गरीब थे, उनके रिक्शा चलाते थे, रिक्शा चोरी हो गया था। जब यहाँ पे आए थे, 2 बच्चों की तबीयत खराब थी और एक लड़की स्कूल जाती थी, उसको स्कूल में उल्टी हुई थी।
Preliminary post-mortem report shows that the little children hadn't eaten anything for 3 days. Their father went in search of work a few days ago but never returned. Their mother is also allegedly mentally ill and in no condition to take care of anyone.
वहाँ पर 3 बच्चे हैं, तीनों लड़कियाँ हैं, 4 साल, 8 साल और 2 साल की। तो जो उनकी मदर हैं वो अपने जो पड़ोसी हैं उनकी मदद से ले गई थी हॉस्पिटल में, where they were declared brought dead.
Yet, for our netas, this tragedy is fodder for their petty politics.
सबसे बड़ी बात ये हम इनसे पूछना चाहते हैं कि इनकी आम आदमी कैंटीन कहाँ चली गई, जिसका इन्होंने बड़े-बड़े घोषणाएं करी थी कि आम आदमी कैंटीन है।
15 साल की एक पार्टी के शासन के बाद भी दिल्ली में बच्चे भूखों मर रहे हो, सिस्टम क्या बना के रखा गया, एक बड़ा प्रश्न चिन्ह उठता है।
जिस वजह से हुई हो, गरीबी है, भूखमरी है, कोई और वजह है, इस तरह से देश की राजधानी में एक ही परिवार की 3 बच्चियों का मरना हम सब के लिए बहुत सदमे की बात है और हम सब के लिए बहुत गहन चिंता की बात है।
At a time when the netas and officials should be working towards eradication of starvation deaths, they have been playing politics over it. We ask, how fair is this? The debate begins now.
Let's say good evening to our panelists this evening. Harish Khurana, spokesperson for the BJP. Joining me is Anjali Bharadwaj, member for the Right to Food campaign and co-convener for NCPRI. Prerna Singh, spokesperson for the Congress Party. Tarashi Sharma, spokesperson for AAP. And Ravi Sharvasta joining us from our Mumbai studios, also a political analyst and activist. I want to go across to Tarashi Sharma first. Tarashi Sharma, where do you think your government failed? What could you have done right here?
I think it's a massive failure of the system to that in the national capital there are 3 girls dying out of starvation. If we go back and look at the ICDS scheme, it started off to avoid deaths such as this, but the fact that there are Anganwadis in each area to look after such problems, and there are supervisors and child welfare officers, and yet we could not ensure enough food for these 3 little girls, for them to die out of starvation in the national capital. I think it's a shameful tragedy for the entire nation. I think also we just need more sensitization of the entire system, accountability of our officials. The ICDS scheme, which was launched for this exact purpose, for it to fail, and in such a tragic manner, one needs to go back and look at what errors occurred throughout the system.
So you're saying it's all the central government's fault? There is nothing that the Delhi government could have done about this? That it's the onus is on the Women and Child Development Ministry?
No, absolutely not. I think everyone's at fault when a system
No, but you only mentioned the ICDS scheme. I'm asking you, where do you think your government went wrong? What can you improve? What can you do better?
I think getting ration cards, if we asked around in the area, and there are 30 families who have their Aadhaar cards, yet they don't have their ration cards, and just getting ration to these people, there are gaps in the system of delivery that these people, there are children, there are marginalized sections, and they do not get ration even though the government means to provide it, the states meant to provide them. I think that's where we failed in pushing ahead the system, and that's why we're planning on working on. We're working with Anganwadis. We need we need a record of all these people, all the children who are in an area, and how many of them require nutrition. We cannot have, I think this is absolutely unacceptable for India of today, to have starvation deaths in the capital. I think, but I think
why doesn't that system work? Prerna Singh, why doesn't that system work? Is this a systemic failure? Is this a legacy problem? Is this a centre's problem? Why are we seeing disgusting political statements being made, and nobody really telling us what their own fault is and how they are going to fix it? Prerna Singh. Prerna Singh, can you hear me? Okay, I'm just going to go.
Yeah, tell me now.
What's going wrong here? Why are we only seeing petty, disgusting political statements being made here? Why won't anybody take accountability, take responsibility for what's gone wrong?
We are not making any dirty political statements. We are rather concerned over the condition of Delhiites and over the death which is caused due to the starvation. Never ever, we have heard this kind of an incident in the national capital. And Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who came into power with 67 seats, we did not expect that very soon, in only 3 to 4 years of his tenure, Delhi would see the death of 3 little girls due to starvation. And we are very saddened to say that the family of these girls did not even have a ration card. And ironically, this incident has happened in the constituency of the Deputy CM of Delhi.
You do realize that every statement that you're making is also just a political attack, Prerna Singh. Why is your party repeatedly resorting to this kind of
political attack?
No, you tell me.
These are the genuine concerns. This is not a political attack.
This is not a political attack. Congress claimed, the Congress party today claimed that bodies had been shifted to Guru Tej Bahadur Hospital to get the desired autopsy report. What do you mean by get the desired autopsy report? What do you mean by getting the desired autopsy report?
Of his constituency, how is he going to take care? How is he going to take care of the people of Delhi when he is
spare me the political rhetoric. What do you mean by getting the desired autopsy report? Why does the Aam Aadmi Party need a specific kind of autopsy report? What are you trying to allege here? Is that not what the Congress party leaders said today? Is that not what the Congress party leaders said today? that the bodies were shifted to Guru Tej Bahadur Hospital to get the desired autopsy report? Yes, ma'am, you can very well hear me. The question is to you, Prerna Singh.
Can you please repeat the question? Your voice is not clear.
We're going to fix that audio and come back and ask you that question. I'm going to take this point across to Harish Khurana. Harish Khurana, is this a time for politics? 3 children have died because nobody was able to give them food. Is this the time for politics?
Tanvi, as a Delhi citizen today, I am speechless. It's an absolutely shame for a Delhi citizen. It's an absolutely shame for any kind of politician. It's absolutely shame for the whole system today. A incident occurred where? Right across the capital of India. Right across when the topmost politician of Delhi in his own constituency. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate and it's absolutely shame when a Delhi Deputy Chief Minister's own area this incident happened, and Delhi Chief Minister's first reaction was, I'll quote that quick tweet, that was Manish Sisodia tweet, कि जांच के आदेश दे दिए हैं, ये परिवार 2 दिन पहले ही मंडावली में रहने आया था. What do you mean by this? He's not a Delhi citizen. He's not your area. And above all, more than 48 hours has been passed. Delhi Chief Minister don't have a time to visit that family. What are your message giving to? And second tweet is, it's a absolutely fault of Lieutenant Governor because he has not given a permission for this ration doorstep delivery. What a blame game you are doing. Today, in spite of doing an introspection, why this incident has happened right across in Delhi, where 3 children died. You are playing politics.
Shocking.
You're playing a blame
Shocking.
Game.
I want a response from Tarishi on that, and then I will go to our other 2 panelists. Tarishi, what is this? Why was this platform used to promote your home delivery ration scheme, or to make it sound like because they just moved here 4 days ago, there was no ration card? How long was this man living in this city?
So one also needs to look back at the history of Aam Aadmi Party. We came with the idea of serving the people, and starvation death is actually the worst sort of problem that could, a tragedy that could happen to the city. So when Manish Sisodia tries to push for doorstep delivery of ration, he's not doing it for political points. He also understands that he's been working with the system for long before he became an elected leader of the city. So he also understands that there are faults in the ration delivery system, and this is the way out he's found. So for an elected representative,
tell me, for a person who's struggling to find a roof upon their head, tell me, for a person, for a family who doesn't have a roof on their head, who are moving from one place to the other, how is a home delivery of ration going to work for them? What is the connection here? Are you not then using just this platform to promote your scheme and just lash out at the Lieutenant Governor?
There's home delivery of ration, there's home delivery of services. So while these families had an Aadhaar card, they actually did not have a ration card because of a systemic failure. I take complete responsibility for that. There have been problems of accountability of the system delivering to the people what's needed. So for all of us to realize, I think it's one should not politicize the situation.
There you go.
Extremely tragic, and
exactly,
no
shouldn't. But unfortunately, the Deputy Chief Minister also did that. The Congress did it, the BJP did it, and the Aam Aadmi Party did it. Ravi Srivastava, that's the sad part. I did not hear one concrete solution from any of them except to point fingers at the other party.
Alvi, first of all, it's shameful for all of us, irrespective of the political party. Another thing is that my friend from AAP or Congress, the way they are trying to pass on the buck, this is absolutely shameful. That person did not have the Aadhaar card, the person did not have the ration card, the person was not getting the delivery, the person had no job in Delhi. I think this is all blame game, nothing else. and nobody is above board in all these. They are just trying to show holier than thou from one or another. My friend is sitting here from BJP. Will he answer that 2 deaths have taken place due to starvation within 1 week in the Jharkhand? Within 1 week, last week, and 9 deaths have taken place in last 1 year, and they were trying to link the Aadhaar card with the ration card. This is how they are treating the people over there. Now come back to Delhi, that there should be a thorough inquiry in this whole episode, because the way Deputy Chief Minister says that they had come there for 3 days before, somebody says that the daughter was studying in a school, why didn't she get the midday meal over there? Then somebody says that the man has gone, he had a rickshaw, the rickshaw was stolen and he had no work, he had gone out somewhere. Then somebody says there were medicines lying in the house, there is a suspicion of the food poisoning or diarrhea, loose motion, all these things. Let the thorough inquiry be there and let the truth be revealed. This is saddening, in fact, that the 3 young kids die of the starvation. This is indeed shameful for all of us. It's not alone one.
And I find it very odd, Mr.
Tanvi,
Srivastava.
just one point I wish to add. Since 2011 until 2016, in a 5 years time, including UPA and NDA, both the governments, 62,000 tons of the grains were damaged by the FCI. Though both are equally responsible for this kind of a situation.
And I find it very, very interesting, Mr. Srivastava, the point that you raised. The fact is that the neighbors speak about the little girl going to school, the oldest amongst the 3. They used to see her going to school. On the other hand, we are being told that they moved to this locality, to this neighborhood just 4 days ago. On the other hand, we are being told that these children had not had any food for past 8 to 9 days, because that's what the medical reports and the post-mortem reports suggest. So nobody has the facts here, but everybody thinks it's all right to come out and make claims and point fingers at the other person and to ensure that they give you enough reasons to cover their own faults. Now, I'm going to go across to Anjali Bharadwaj and ask her, Anjali Bharadwaj, what should have been done so that what should we do so that this doesn't happen again?
Look, the Right to Food campaign, the national campaign, and the Delhi Rozi Roti Adhikar Abhiyan, the Delhi food campaign, has been consistently saying that the kind of approach that is required to ensure that there is food security and there is no hunger is that people who need the food should not be denied their entitlement. They should not be denied food for any reason. We are told time and again that there are only 72 lakh beneficiaries of the ration system in Delhi, whereas there need to be many, many lakh more given the migratory population here, given the high levels of poverty. There need to be many more beneficiaries in Delhi. We are told consistently that there is not enough budget allocation by the central government, and therefore people cannot be given their rations. We believe that it is the responsibility of the central government to make sure that people who need rations, who are going to bed hungry, get their food and allocations be made. But the state government can also make these allocations, budgetary allocations, if they want. Even they have not been doing it. So the first thing is that budgets need to be made available. Governments need to show political will. This can only happen when governments show political will. The second thing is that there is the ICDS, there is the Anganwadis. Today there was a fact-finding team that went from the Delhi Rozi Roti Adhikar Abhiyan and other campaigns and found that the Anganwadi is less than 50 meters away from where the children were living. Anganwadis are supposed to provide food to children. Why were these children not enrolled in the Anganwadi? Why were they not getting food? Why did they starve? These are questions of accountability. If the child was going to school, she should have got a midday meal. What happened to that midday meal? Did they have a ration card? If they had a ration card, which we are told they probably did not, but why were they left out? what are the systems that the Delhi government is putting in place to ensure that there is proper accountability fixed, to make sure that what is supposed to come to people under the National Food Security Act actually reaches them. So the issue is, on the one hand, there is nothing being done to adequately cover people who are malnutrition children, they are hungry, they are people who cannot afford 2 square meals a day. Nothing is being done to make sure that they have the rations. There are people who are repeatedly applying for ration cards. They are not being given ration cards for various reasons. Either there is not enough money or they don't have Aadhaar cards. Why are all these restrictions being put when people don't have food to eat? It's the moral obligation of the governments to make sure that these people have food to eat, and these kind of things don't happen. And these things are happening across the country. In Jharkhand, there have been more than 10 deaths in the last 1 year. Now we are seeing 3 deaths that have happened in Delhi, and we are seeing that, you know, despite the National Food Security Act making very clear that there have to be accountability mechanisms to make sure that people get their rightful entitlements, these accountability systems have not been put in place.
So let's ask that question.
There's a case going on in the Delhi High Court.
Thank you, Ms. Bharadwaj. I'm going to come back to you. Yes, no, Ravi Srivastava, hold on to your question. I want answers from the BJP and the AAP on these issues that Anjali Bharadwaj has raised. Harish Khurana, you go first. What accountability systems have you put in place? How is the centre ensuring that enough subsidized food is going out there?
Tanvi, the biggest problem, you know what is in Delhi government is? They don't accept their fault. The biggest problem is this. Today, it's absolutely clear there's a failure in the system. And who is in the system? Delhi government. Who's this accountability is whom? Delhi government. So, if you are accepting your fault, at least we should talk to them. Okay, this has happened. This should not be happened. Aage se from in future, this should not be happened. Let's talk. Let's find out where the loopholes are. But over here, where the government wants to pass a buck to every other people, want to blame always to Lieutenant Governor or central government, and then don't want to talk to any of the authorities, whom to talk with? Problem is this: since last 3.5 years, what is happening in Delhi?
Okay, I will get a response from the Aam Aadmi Party on that. But tell me this, Mr. Harish Khurana, do you think it was fair for East Delhi MP Mahesh Giri to write a letter to the President of India requesting him to immediately dismiss the incompetent government of Delhi? Is that the constructive way to go about this?
See,
who's playing politics now?
See, listen. Today, Manish Sisodia has accepted that there is a failure in the system. He accepted that on TV channels. What is the solution then? What is the solution then?
Why failure of system you are going to demand somebody's resignation for that?
The whole system.
Mr. Khurana,
we have to do this.
For system failure, are you going to demand Chief Minister's resignation? Is a system failure? The railway accidents happen every day and you demand Piyush Goyal's resignation? Is it the way you operate?
And above all,
you want to pass the buck?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. An MP is wasting his time.
And what 7 MPs are doing there of Delhi? 7 BJP MPs, what they are doing in Delhi?
Ravi,
what is their role?
Speaking, don't interfere.
Yes,
okay, let's listen to his answer.
Manoj Tiwari, to instead talking about Humayun, Babur and Shahjahan, why doesn't he talk about his food delivery? Why not the Aam Aadmi Party start their Aam canteen over there? Like your Amma canteen is there in Tamil Nadu, the Indira canteen is there in Karnataka, who are giving a highly subsidized food. Why such canteens can't be started in Delhi?
Okay, Ravi Srivastava, taken your points. Now let's get the response. Yes, Mr. Khurana, tell me, don't you think it's highly ridiculous that an MP is wasting his time writing these letters? Are we to then expect every time something goes wrong with the railways for Piyush Goyal to resign? Are we to expect the Jharkhand Chief Minister to resign, because there have been starvation deaths and numerous deaths due to starvation in Jharkhand as well? Is that your solution?
This is not for the first time what is happening. This is happening, passing on the bucks, blaming gaming is always happening. Today, rain happened. okay, this LG is responsible for whole system.
Well,
Problem
MCD
is
is
this:
fault.
whom to talk with?
MCD is fault.
Delhi is going where? As a Delhi citizen, I'm shameful today. And the sensitivity of the chief minister is he has no time to visit that family also. He's so busy. He's so busy. He can't visit 10 kilometers from his own area.
Politics. That's all. That's all we are going to get. That's all we are going to get. Tarishi, do you have answers to what Anjali Bharadwaj has raised about the systemic failures? And if there was an Anganwadi 50 meters away, then obviously something has gone terribly wrong there.
Absolutely. So let me clarify from the onstart. We're not running away from responsibility. We definitely think this is a massive tragedy, and we're not here to make political points. We're not here for petty political points. This is the reason Aam Aadmi Party came into power. We're here to serve the people. So now to get on to the points that Mr. Manish Sisodia, what he's done in his constituency, he's ordered an immediate. Since someone, I think, on the panel today mentioned that there are lots of conflicting facts coming up. So one is a report, an immediate report to clarify all details about the case. Second is the planning department. He's ordered them to take a census of not just that area, but around the city and find out groups of people that are vulnerable right now who do not have access to food. How should we need a list of people so that we can address the problem. That's basic, getting the data. And the third is the ICDS. So the Delhi government's actually taken ownership of the Anganwadi system. We've worked on education, we've worked on healthcare, and we've seen massive improvements in both those sectors. The Anganwadi, we're actually we've been pushing for a few months, and some changes have happened, some have not. I wouldn't say that we've improved Anganwadis. Yes, no, let me just complete a little bit. So another point that we've been trying to do is for the past 4-5 months, I don't think this has come out yet, but we've been pushing for tablets for Anganwadi supervisors.
Coming to you next, Prerna.
Yes, please.
No, so my point
so
is...
we're thinking of...
Tanvi, I was just hearing what my...
Yes.
Tarishi, I will come back to you on what you're going to do about that. But my point is, like you said, that investigation has been ordered, a judicial probe, whatever it is that he's ordered. So before finding the facts, why did Deputy Chief Minister or anybody else from your government and party feel the need to come out and start slamming the Women and Child Development Ministry and start slamming the Lieutenant Governor? Find your facts first, see where the system has failed, and then do that. Unless, otherwise, we will believe that what is important to you more is politics and not people. Now, Prerna Singh, if you can hear me, the question that I was asking you before, I'll come back to you. Prerna Singh is back. Prerna Singh is back, and I had a question for her, which is why did Ajay Makhan feel the need to come out and say that the bodies of the 3 children were moved to Guru Tej Bahadur Hospital to get the desired autopsy report? Can you explain to me, Prerna?
See, Tanvi, we are not politicizing any issue. Earlier also I have said that we are concerned that, you know, in the national capital where such an incident has never happened, has happened now in the tenure of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, that too in the constituency of the Deputy Chief Minister. He is too busy buying 20 lakh worth of car for himself.
You're not answering my question.
But he's not concerned about the residents in his own constituency. This death due to starvation has not occurred in one day. These people, you know, over time, continuously, they have suffered. They did not get food. The father of these girls, he lost his job. He got his rickshaw stolen. Is there no Aam Aadmi Party karyakarta?
You are not answering my question. Prerna Singh, allow me to make your life easier. I'm going to try and save you from making a big mistake. Prerna Singh, I'm going to try and save you from making a big mistake. If you go on and on...
to the houses to check if there is anyone who is dying of
starvation. Can you listen now, please? Can you listen to me now, please? Prerna Singh, I know this is your first time on this show.
Why they could not do that now?
I am going to put the audio down of the Congress spokesperson because she refuses to listen to us. Now, can you please listen to me? I know this is your first time on this show, but here is how things work on The Last Word and on Mirror Now. We listen to each other. My question to you was, why did Ajay Makan feel the need to make that comment? Now let me try and save you from making a big mistake.
Because of which I'm not able to
Let
hear
me
you
try
clearly.
and save you from making a big mistake. The more you politicize this, the more you take this opportunity to just attack the Aam Aadmi Party, the worse you're making the situation, and you're just proving my point that the Congress Party is only interested in political rowdy points.
And it is
Explain to me, why do you see there a conspiracy? Why is there a conspiracy? Why are you making a conspiracy charge? Why are you making a conspiracy charge? Where is the evidence to suggest, to back your claim that the children were moved from one hospital to the other to get the desired autopsy report? What do you mean by that?
See, we do not mean anything by that. We just need a credible autopsy report so that we identify where the problem lies.
What is the credibility?
We are not here to politicize
all
anything.
Hospitals are the government hospitals. They are not private hospitals, madam.
We are
They are all government hospitals.
And
Why should you suspect the credibility of one hospital over another?
Party and as a responsible opposition to raise that concern. I do not see any problem in that. If Mr. Makan is asking for a credible autopsy report, what is wrong in that? It is wrong to find the right reason for the death of those girls.
What do you think the reason is? You disbelieve that it was starvation, that they ran out of food, that they didn't eat anything for 10 days?
The starvation. Reason is that the father of those girls did not have money to buy food for those little girls.
So then stop politicizing the issue and address this.
The government is least concerned for the welfare of the little
There is a media report 2 days before the food was brought to home, but the girls were suffering from certain disease, so they were not able to consume it. You please go through the media reports. It is not true that they did not have money to buy the food.
I have gone through the autopsy
report. This is all a matter of
I very well understand that.
Let the magisterial inquiry be there.
Not find
Let the
any
truth come out of it.
Food or fat
Please
in their
do not
body,
make apprehensions on the TV channel.
No, but the postmortem report, through the report. The postmortem report, we are told, Ravi Srivastava makes it very clear that there was no sign of food or water in their stomach, and that's the truth. That's what we've been told now. Anjali Bharadwaj was raising her hand in between. Yes, ma'am, go ahead, please.
Look, I don't want to indulge in any of the political discussion that's happening here. I just want to know from the central government and the state government whether they are going to take certain steps to ensure that things like this don't happen in the future in Delhi. And in fact, this should be an issue that is debated for the whole country, but considering we are discussing this in the context of the 3 tragic deaths that took place today in Delhi, we'll stick to that. The first thing is that with the central government, when Prime Minister Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat and the National Food Security Act was passed, he said that the amount of food that is being given to every person under the National Food Security Act is too little. Only 5 kilograms per person, and we agree with that. What steps is the central government going to undertake? We haven't seen anything done in the last 4.5 years. Is the central government going to increase that amount so that people actually have food in their stomachs when they go to bed at night? And that is a very important issue that needs to be answered by the central government. Children have been demanding, and in fact this has been done in many states. There has been a demand for eggs, for milk, for fruit, in children's diets, in their midday meals, which the center can make allocations for. Is the center going to do that? Okay. For the state government, what is the state government going to do? Let me just finish my questions for the state government as well. What is the state government planning to do? In Delhi, there are still no rules under the National Food Security Act that the state government has formulated to make sure that there's a food commission also that's set up. A state food commission is supposed to be set up. There is supposed to be a grievance redress mechanism. The Delhi government has not framed any rules. Now, if somebody goes and complains about the Anganwadi or about the ICDS, what will happen to their complaint? Nothing. So this will continue to happen. The Delhi High Court has directed the Delhi government to formulate rules immediately. The Delhi government is sitting in contempt. They're not formulating rules. So if I go and complain today, thousands of people have have gone and complained. Nothing happens on their complaint because there's no grievance redress mechanism, there's no state food commission. Are they going to set up anything? Otherwise, these kind of things will keep repeating themselves because there is abject poverty. There are migrant laborers who are coming.
Yes, thank you, Anjali Bharadwaj, and I really appreciate
Tanvi,
how you've actually brought out the facts, the real problem. That is the intention of this conversation. We don't want a blame game. If only the centre and the state or the BJP and the AAP representatives here had admitted that we failed in doing A, B, C, what you just pointed out to us, that would have made such a big difference. One can only hope that they do so now. I'm going to go across to Ravi Srivastava in just a bit, but two of our viewers have been patiently waiting on the phone line. Dr. Walia on the phone line from Delhi. Good evening, Dr. Walia. Go ahead, please.
And I just want to say that actually we should do away with political people because they always talk nonsense. And I think your Anjali, of course, is very reasonable and she has given you the answer. Actually, the basic problem is I am also from the army. You see, how can the army fight without its officers? The state government is fighting without any officers. The basic problem in Delhi, which we are suffering, is because it's a fight between the central government and the state government. And even though the Supreme Court has given the guidelines, whatever it is, there is no solution. Because these are the political people, they care to hell regarding what the people are doing in Delhi. They only bother about their seats and their power. This is the basic problem.
That is true. Dr. Walia, thank you for calling and thank you for sharing your view. The intent always is to have political representatives because the points that people like Anjali Bharadwaj raise must go to them. And we must also know that those in power, those making the decisions, what they really have in mind as concern for the people. Rajneesh on the phone line, also from Delhi. Good evening, Rajneesh. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Hello?
Yes. What would you like to say? Yes, we can.
Yeah, I would like to say that first of all, all these sheer politics, and this is not going to do any good for the country. I mean to say the arguments. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
The arguments and leg pulling won't do anything good for the country. I mean, first of all, compassionate heart and deep desire to work has to be there, grounded, right?
Right.
Secondly, what better jobs I'm telling you some, I don't know all, some NGOs are doing, and people who voluntarily come up for the support, they do much, much better job. And lastly, in such a big country, identifying census, all these things, it's a great and heftiest Herculean task. Well, I don't say it shouldn't be done, it should be done. And lastly, the development of the rural side is to be of great importance. Why people are migrating to other cities? Why do they leave their home towns? Because no employment, no jobs, lesser jobs, though we have seen drastic development in the last few years.
Point well made, Rajni. Thank you for calling. Good points raised by you there. Very quickly going across to Harish Khurana and then to Tarishi. Harish Khurana, without pointing fingers on the other side, can you tell us what is your party's vision to ensure that such starvation deaths stop in our country?
See, we have to do few things, short-term planning and long-term planning. One, short-term planning should be immediate. We should have our PDS system should be very strong. Anganwadi system should be strong. And, for example, I don't want to do politics on this. 4 lakh ration card holder name has been cut off. Why? I mean, we have to see the loopholes in our whole system, and we have to rectify those things, And central government is helping them out, giving them the additional food for Delhi people. We are doing that. But end of the day, we have to sit down above politics. We'll do politics in 2019, 2020. But right across what we want right now.
Right.
Benefit of the
Tarishi,
poor, benefit of the people.
Tarishi, I think people want to hear more from you as to what Delhi government also has in mind.
I think, Tanvi, can you allow me a question to Tarishi? I think that will be better. Just allow me.
Okay.
Yeah. My question that please, this was Aam Aadmi Party's promise that they will be giving a very subsidized food to the entire Delhi population, whosoever is hungry, and people will be, getting the food at a very subsidized rate, on the lines of the other states like Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. So, and it was a promise from Aam Aadmi Party. So, my appeal to our representative is to convey to their team that they should start it as early as possible so that no more starvation deaths take place, instead of long big plans of Mr. Khurana or the Congress party or any other people.
Okay, all right. Tarishi, your response.
All right. Can I? Yes. I think some brilliant points were raised during the debate, but I also feel that a major fault in our system is the implementation fault. So while we have a very strong network of Anganwadis, we do not have last mile implementation, we don't have last mile accountability, which is why I feel that the point also came up that even though there was an Anganwadi very close to where these little girls died, they still were starving out of food. So I think our first major step will be to strengthen the Anganwadi network. Early childhood care cannot function better without strengthening the Anganwadis, whether it's through getting the local communities more involved, whether through participatory governance, whether through direct support from the state government. I think both Anjali Bharadwaj and right now the other point about AAP kitchens is really good, but we'll have to also find out more details about that. I do not think that I could speak about that. The other point that we have been trying to push for is for Anganwadi workers to, for each of them to own a tablet. We are in the times of technology, and for us to not use it to benefit people is a shame, absolutely. So what we'd like is for Anganwadi workers to have tablets, to have technology where they can keep a digital record of children in their area, of women in their area, and the government can monitor where the system fails its people. Right. I think that's very important right now, because if implementation is
the last word to
monitoring.
The last word to Anjali Bharadwaj. Anjali Bharadwaj, the entire country today is really shocked, and I know people from across the country are tuning in to watch this, because people are wondering how in our national capital can 3 little children go hungry for days together and die because of that. Now, if we can't fix it in Delhi, where else will we be able to fix the problem? But the fact also is, we have hundreds of people still homeless even in our big cities. They don't have a roof on their head. They sleep on footpaths, they roam around, parents are busy working, there is no record of where the children are through the day. This is a larger systemic problem across the country. What do we do as priority to fix this?
I totally agree with you, and I think that it's a matter of shame for everybody in this country that this is happening. We are talking about development, we are talking about India being, the ease of business, we are talking about many things, and here across the states, in Jharkhand and now in the national capital, we have starvation deaths, and I think that that's something that all of us need to introspect about. The immediate steps, I had already talked about them. I think any government must make it their top priority to make sure that the problem of hunger and malnutrition is addressed. We are seeing that India is consistently dropping in its ranking in terms of both poverty and hunger and malnutrition, and I think that these are indices we must address. The issues here are that the governments must show political will. Both the state and the central governments must show political will to make sure that everybody who needs food gets it. Right. Things like Aadhaar and other things which are being made mandatory should not be made mandatory. And even if you don't want to universalize food provision, apart from people who pay taxes, who are very well off, everybody else should have the option to go and get their basic rations, their midday meals. There has to be a very strong system of accountability. Hot food should be served in kitchens so that people who are totally hungry, totally need that food, get basic food. And there are some states who are doing that already. There are kitchens where at very, very subsidized rates, 1 or 2 rupees, people are getting some food to eat so that they don't have to go hungry. That's important. And finally, all of these systems will come to a knot unless you have proper transparency and accountability.
Yes, well,
Systems
perhaps the point, I'm sorry to
place
interrupt,
so
but
that if there is
I'm sorry to interrupt. I would have loved for you to finish that point, but maybe this is the time that the Aam Aadmi Party governor Arvind Kejriwal can go back to the drawing board and think about their promise of having those AAP canteens for the Aam Aadmi Party, for the Aam Aadmi in the city, and do that. Because whatever else we are doing, it's not more important than ensuring that every single person in this country gets food to eat. That's the most basic thing, viewers, that a country and its government and the state should be able to do. And after so many years of independence, and after reaching, whatever parts of the space, and after talking about becoming a superpower, after talking about New India, if we fail to feed our little children, then really none of that matters. None of the other development matters if people are still going hungry. And like Anjali was pointing out, if you look at the Global Hunger Index of 2017, India ranks 100 out of the 119 countries that they looked at. In Asia, the only two countries which are worse than us are Afghanistan and Pakistan. Really, is this what we are doing in 2018? So for all those netas and mantris who sit and want to discuss Hindu, Muslim and love jihad, let's talk about feeding our people first. That needs to be the priority.